Welcome to episode 960, Richard Sackler, the ugly billionaire and the opioid crisis. This is an outline of episode 960.
The American people to know the federal government is aggressively fighting the opioid epidemic on all fronts.
How bad is the opioid crisis? At its height, every day about 130 Americans died of opioid overdose. The opioid crisis affects life expectancy. Today, Latinos live 2.5 years longer than white Americans. Now, here's the good news. There's a small turnaround in the opioid crisis. Product, Oxycontin, is the painkiller that kills. It was developed by Richard Sackler in 1999.
In fact, 50% stronger than morphine. Later, in an unpublished study by Purdue in 1999, the company found that the addiction rate was 13%, not 1%.
Do you believe Purdue's conduct in marketing and promoting Oxycontin in Kentucky caused any of the prescription drug addiction problems now plaguing the Commonwealth?
I don't believe so.
Sitting here today, after all you've come to learn as witness, do you believe that Purdue's conduct in Kentucky has led to an excessive or unnecessary amount of opioids being located throughout the Commonwealth of Kentucky?
I don't believe so.
Do you believe that any of Purdue's conduct has led to an increase in people being addicted in the Commonwealth of Kentucky?
No.
Keeping up with the Sacklers, a good part of the fortune goes to charity for the arts.
The Sackler family has made billions of dollars creating, feeding, and worsening people's addictions. They go out of their way to change the narrative and instead focus attention on their philanthropic efforts in the arts, education, and sciences, like donations to fund the Arthur M. Sackler Museum at Harvard and funding a wing in the New York Metropolitan Museum of Art.
Now the Sackler family, the three brothers.
We must first look at the Sackler story. The story of the Sacklers starts in 1952 when three psychiatrist brothers, Arthur, Mortimer, and Raymond, purchased a small pharmaceutical company called Purdue. Together, they co-authored over 100 research papers on the biochemistry of mental illness. Arthur Sackler doubled as an advertising pioneer in pharmaceuticals, first to convince the Journal of the American Medical Association to run an ad brochure in color. Arthur went on to make Valium the first drug to pass 100 million sales. He did this by marketing it as a drug to cover all kinds of ailments with a made-up term he called psychic tension.
Now the lavish lifestyle of the Sacklers.
It's a lavish lifestyle. Dame Theresa Sackler, a board member of Purdue, owns a $45 million Upper East Side apartment in New York. Beverly Sackler, another member of Purdue, owns a waterfront estate in Greenwich, Connecticut, worth an estimated $15 million. David Sackler, son of Oxycontin creator Richard Sackler, purchased a $22.5 million Bel Air mansion.
The settlement and the breaking up of Purdue Pharma in 2019.
2,000 cases against Purdue Pharma and its owners, the Sackler family. Now, this was reported first late yesterday by NBC, and that settlement amount would be reached in a kind of piecemeal fashion. So Purdue would file for bankruptcy and then restructure into a public benefit trust, which would disperse profits from sales of Oxycontin and another drug to municipalities that agree to the settlement. Now, the company would also donate $4 billion worth of drugs, including some to treat opioid addiction. And finally, the Sackler family would pay at least $3 billion. Now, this isn't a done deal, but even the mention that a settlement would include both states as well as cities and counties is notable. Until recently, it had seemed that the states preferred to go it alone. So now the question is how this affects settlement discussions for other companies involved in these opioid cases, from other drug makers to drug distributors to pharmacies. Now, in the federal consolidation of thousands of cases in Ohio.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and leave your questions and comments below. My next video will be Richard Sackler, 9 lessons. Wishing everyone peace and prosperity.